The millionaire left the safe wide open, a test for his maid's daughter. He never imagined how it would end. Before we get into this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. And let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Now let's continue. The room was quiet, yet Darius's heart thundered in his chest. He stood just outside the door, one hand on the doorknob, his phone in the other, capturing every moment. The light from the open safe flickered, casting strange shadows on the polished wood floor. There in front of it stood a little girl, no taller than the doorknob itself. Her back was turned, one hand grasping the heavy metal door. She was Amara, 7 years old, with dark skin and curly hair tied into uneven puffs. She wore a cream-colored shirt, torn at the hem, and loose jeans that sagged at her ankles. Barefoot. She hadn't spoken since entering the room. Amara was the daughter of Lena, Darius's maid. Lena came 3 times a week to clean his penthouse, and up until today, Darius had never really noticed the child. But today everything changed. Darius had deliberately left the safe open, filled with stacks of cash, $500,000 in bills. No staff, no cameras, just him watching from behind the door and her standing inches away from temptation. He wasn't being cruel. He told himself he wasn't. He just wanted to know, would a girl like her, born in poverty, surrounded by wealth she could never touch, take what wasn't hers if she thought no one was looking? He never imagined she'd find the safe. But there she was, caught in the act. Amara's tiny fingers gripped the edge of the safe, but there was no trace of greed in her eyes. They were wide, filled with something else. Uncertainty, perhaps, or even a hint of fear. She gazed at the stacks of cash before her, each bundle neatly bound in green and white, arranged so perfectly it seemed unreal. The amount of money was beyond anything she had ever imagined. Darius held his breath, leaning forward slightly, his eyes fixed on her. Would she take it? He didn't move, didn't even blink. Then Amara whispered a single word, soft, almost to herself. Why? Darius's brow furrowed. Amara inched closer, her face nearly brushing the cash. She reached into her back pocket and pulled out a small, folded piece of paper. Then, to Darius's astonishment, she knelt down and carefully placed the paper on top of the top stack of bills. Without touching the money, she shut the safe halfway. Still open, still untouched. She hadn't taken a single dollar. Darius's heart pounded louder now. He stepped forward, the door creaking slightly. Amara turned, not startled. She had known he was there. You left it open on purpose, she said, her voice steady. Darius stepped fully into the room, not bothering to hide the truth. I did. She nodded, as if she had expected that answer. Was she testing him? He crossed his arms, trying to keep his voice calm. I wanted to see what you would do. Why? Because I needed to know. Know what? She asked. If poor kids steal. She exhaled slowly, her gaze unwavering. Not exactly. Exactly, Darius replied, his voice barely a whisper. He stepped closer. You could have taken something. No one would have stopped you. I would have, she said. Darius stared at her, unable to look away. Amara moved past him, her bare feet barely making a sound on the plush carpet as she walked to the center of the room. She stopped by the king-sized bed but didn't sit. My mom always says, she began, life gives you chances to do the right thing, especially when it's hard, when no one's watching or when they are. Darius swallowed hard, her words lingering in the air. She turned slowly to face him. You don't trust people like me. You think we're all just waiting to grab whatever we can get. He opened his mouth, but she cut him off. That may be true. But you didn't leave that safe open for someone like you. You left it open for someone like me. Darius had no response. She tilted her head slightly. You test poor kids like we're nothing but lab rats in a maze. But you never test the ones born into wealth. His jaw tightened. You don't understand the world I live in. She shrugged. Maybe not, but I understand mine. Darius glanced at the safe. What's in the paper? He asked, his voice a bit strained. Read it, she said. He walked back to the safe and opened it fully. The note sat exactly where she'd left it. He unfolded it. The handwriting was uneven, childlike, and scratched out in places. It read, My mom says if you have to steal, it means someone failed to give. Darius remained in the room long after Amara had left. He didn't move, the note lying between his fingers like a silent accusation. One simple line written by a child had left him stunned. A man who'd conquered boardrooms and survived market crashes. If you have to steal, it means someone failed to give. The safe was still wide open, the money untouched, but it didn't feel important anymore. He walked over to his desk, laid the note down with trembling hands and sat. For the first time in years, he didn't reach for his phone or his keyboard. He stared, lost in thought. And then something stirred inside him. A memory. 12 years ago, in a small concrete apartment on Brighton Avenue, after his father died, Darius had lived with his aunt. They had nothing. He remembered the time he opened a tin cookie box, desperate for food. But inside, instead of the comfort he hoped for, there were only old utility bills and a single folded $10 note, hidden like a secret. He didn't take it. He just stared at it, feeling the weight of need and the ache of being invisible. That night, Darius didn't sleep. The next morning, Lena arrived as she always did, hair pinned back, white blouse, dark slacks, and plastic gloves already on. She stepped into the penthouse, head down, with her daughter quietly following. Darius was waiting at the kitchen island. "Mrs. Ramy," he said. She froze. "Yes, sir? You can take off your gloves today." Lena hesitated, unsure. Amara peeked from behind her, clutching a small book. "I'd like to speak with your daughter," he said. Lena's eyes widened. "Sir, if she did something wrong." "She didn't," Darius interrupted, his tone gentle. Still cautious, Lena stepped back, giving Amara room to walk forward. Amara moved slowly, but there was no fear in her step. Darius crouched down to meet her at eye level. "I read your note," he said quietly. Amara nodded. "You were right." She didn't speak. He motioned to the couch. "Can we sit?" Amara climbed onto the edge while Darius sat beside her, shoulders tight. "I thought I was testing you," he said. "But you tested me." Still, Amara said nothing. "I judged you," he continued, "by where you're from, what your mom does, what you wear." He looked down, ashamed. "That was small of me." Her voice was calm when she spoke. "You're not small. Just scared." Her words hit harder than anything he had felt in a long time. Darius chuckled, a half laugh, more of a choke. "You're 7?" he asked. "Almost 8, she corrected. Darius blinked, his eyes softening. "I want to show you something." He stood, walked to his office, and returned with a black velvet box. Inside there was a thick, engraved gold coin, something he had custom-made when he closed his first $10 million deal. On one side it said, "Winning is everything." On the other side, "Trust no one." He placed the coin in her hands. "I made this to remind myself how the world works," he said. "But I think I've been wrong." Amara turned the coin over, brow furrowed. "You can keep it," Darius offered. "I don't want it," she said simply. He smiled. "Good." Amara glanced at her mother, then back at him. "Why did you leave it open?" she asked. Darius didn't answer right away. Then he spoke softly. "I wanted to confirm a belief I was afraid to let go of." "What belief?" she asked. "That people only do the right thing when they're being watched." Amara looked down. "Sometimes they don't even do the right thing when they are." Darius nodded, a heavy silence hanging between them. "Would you like something to eat?" he asked. She shrugged. "Pancakes," he offered. He looked toward Lena, who nodded. "We'll make them together." And so, in the warmth of the kitchen, as the morning light bathed the room, the man who once tested others finally allowed himself to be seen. After breakfast, Lena attempted to slip out quietly, but Darius stopped her. "There's a reason I asked you not to clean today." Lena turned, a nervous flutter in her chest. "I'd like you to stop working here," Darius said. Her heart sank. "Sir, please, if it's about yesterday, I swear she didn't." He raised a hand, cutting her off. "I want you to stop working as a maid." Her eyes widened, struggling to comprehend. "But I don't have." "I'm offering you a full-time position," he continued, his voice calm. "Assistant property manager at my downtown complex. Better hours, a proper salary. You'll be supervising, not cleaning." She stood there speechless. I'll cover all the training, he added. Her knees nearly buckled. And for Amara, he said, glancing at the girl now licking syrup off her fingers, she'll have a spot in my scholarship foundation if she wants it. Amara looked up, eyes wide. For real? Darius grinned. For real. Then he knelt down beside her again. And if you ever want to come work in my office and test me again, you're welcome to. Amara giggled. Just don't leave your safe open, she teased. Darius laughed deeply. The test had ended, but the lesson would linger. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more unexpected, heartwarming tales. Drop us a comment, let us know where you're watching from. We love hearing your stories. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind.